All right, you all set? There it goes. Recording started.
Yeah. So I'm Danny, and I'm welcoming you back to Hobby News Daily Hot Corner. And I'm joined by my friend Aaron from Slab Shipper. How are you doing, Aaron?
Pretty good. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So you've got a product that I want to talk about, but first of all, to be in the hobby and to have a passion and to create something, you have to have some sort of background with cards or some sort of problem you're trying to solve. So to those people who don't know, talk about your collecting and when you got out of it and got back into it, like a lot of people.
Yeah, I collected when I was a kid back in the 90s when we had the giant Jordan craze going on and all that. Shaq was my favorite player back then. So I was always pretty sad to watch the Bulls beat up on him along with Houston, too. So I would always be chasing Shaqs back then. And then right around 96, I want to say. So I missed out on all the real good releases. That's when I stopped collecting. And then just when we got sent home for COVID, I started looking at some of the sports card news and information and was like, all right, I'm going to go check an old collection. Let's see what we got in there. And that's where I found old Topps Kobe is tucked away in my binder and found out about grading and all of that going along and sent that in to get graded and didn't do well on it. But yeah, that was the start of kind of like finding treasure because that was just a lot of fun to go flipping through a book, find an old card. It could be worth a couple $1,000s at that time, and that was
Yeah.
exciting. So I started buying collections and doing the same thing off of Facebook Marketplace.
One of the things that struck me as interesting is you sold and shipped out hundreds of cards.
Yeah, first year, I think I gathered together, somewhere around 700 to 1,000 cards to send in to grade, and then
It's unbelievable.
PSA was closed for a while. It took me almost a full year to get back what I
Oh,
was sending at that time.
and so, like a lot of us who have sold, you've got to ship a product and you've got to go through, the protections when you wrap it up and all those things that are the not fun part of selling.
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
I got tired of it by the time I'm doing 20, 30 of them on a Sundays when I usually would end my auction. So Monday I'm spending, 5 hours packing things up and was sitting there wondering, can I find something easier like a magnetic one touch for ungraded or, cases, anything that would help out with the shipping process. And when I went to search, I couldn't find anything.
so I make my kids do a lot of it as chores because I can't stand packing it up. I'll literally do laundry and dishes sometimes over bubble wrap and cardboard. I just I agree with you. It's just laborious, and it's not the reason I got into cards. I did not get
Right.
into cards to be a gift wrapper at the mall for a Christmas. So I saw your product online, and I thought somebody got it. Somebody said let's solve a problem that we all have. So
Mhm.
tell me what was your kind of aha moment and what came from that.
The only thing I found when I went searching for a case that I could actually purchase was one that was pretty extravagant. I'd say it's like $25 a piece for protecting, $10,000 cards and whatnot. So I was figuring just like a one touch or top loader. Those things are so common and cheap and available that you just send them off in the mail. You don't even think about the $2 that you did spend on that one touch, sending it along with your card. So I
Sure.
figured there's got to be a way to do something for graded cards also.
And so when you ship a credit card, you've got the plastic obviously of the case. And to anybody who's ever shipped a card, no matter what you use, always put that in a bag. That's kind of good etiquette when shipping is always use a team bag or slab bag. So I have my card, it's in the bag, and I'm gonna show off here. This is kind of what I did in about 10 seconds. Can I show this off?
Oh yeah, go for it.
All right. So this is the slab shipper. And if you see inside, I've got a Beckett slab. And all I do is pinch to get this off. and I have tremors, so this is actually not that hard. And safely inside is my Bill Ripken. Um, Now, this one is the blacked out version. I wouldn't use the dirty version here. But this is, if you're a kid of a certain age and you grew up around when we did, this card was well known.
Mhm.
So I actually have a bunch of these and I'm shipping them out, and I'm going to put it right back in, snap it on, good to go. Goes right in my bubble wrap bag, seal, ship, done. Um, that whole process was about 5 seconds to pack it up. Is that quickly what you found? Was that like the light bulb went off and said, "This is a better way"?
Oh yeah, yeah. I started messing around, coming up with case ideas. Probably more than a year ago. I got a 3D printer. I think you can see it back, yeah, over my shoulder. Just messing around with different ideas. So this is one of the first prototypes, kind of like
Oh
a
wow,
circular, you know, thing. And then I started uh, changing it for making it manufacturable and injection molded and stuff. So I got lucky that I'm also an engineer, so I get to deal with how do you make stuff and how you can bring a product and make it something that you can actually produce. So this was the last prototype that I printed before I contacted a manufacturer, which is the same thing, just a 3D printed version of it. And so that was actually pretty fun to troubleshoot, go through different ideas. Uh, when we went from this prototype, I told my wife I'm going to contact a manufacturer. So do you think this is going to be the one that we should go with? And then she was like, no, change this, this, and this. And that's how we ended up here. Kind of a boxy design.
did you already have the 3D printer as an engineer, or was that part of the development process?
No, that's something I bought separate. I decided that if I'm going to try to go this on my own, I contacted, a few of the larger
Right.
manufacturers of protectors and sent them my idea. And they were, like, yeah, it's a good idea, but we don't see how we can make it that cheap. So I was like, I'm pretty sure you can. So I've tried to go on my own.
That's awesome. So what is kind of the growth plan? What are you hoping for a year from now?
Just to have consistent usage of it. Anybody that gets them in their hand and sees them and how much easier it is to ship with them. Yeah, it seems to like them. They have positive responses to it. So I'm just hoping that we can get a good volume out there, get them circulating, and then like everybody that's doing anything in the hobby, hopefully this can turn into my job instead of just a hobby. That'd be fun.
I am curious about your background as an engineer. Can you touch on that a little bit, because that's very fascinating in the design of this.
Yeah, I just been doing automotive engineering for about 15 years now.
Okay.
So in terms of yeah, doing designing or coming up with ideas and then modeling them on a computer, that was all pretty familiar. And then turning that into the 3D printer, that's a learning curve, but it was something you could do pretty quick and pretty cheap too. I think that printer back there is only about $140 or so.
Wow, that's cheaper than what I paid for an inkjet. Um, I'm fascinated by the creation process. How long from you realizing that you could maybe solve this problem till you actually had a product that you put to market?
We started by trying to go for a patent application on the idea. And I think I went through, it was an invent help. And then I changed the design and the patent didn't end up working out. There was something else that was also filed a few months later. So I barely missed out on having something for perfecting a graded card. But then I changed the design and went and got it manufactured and sent to me. That started last December. And then we actually had these cases show up and ready for sale in August.
Okay, so just after the national.
Yep. Yeah,
So
we had a little batch for the national sent out to us, walked around there, handed them out for samples. And that was also an experience too, to see 10, 20,000 people and
yeah,
grouped up in there.
Well, the National's fantastic. Do you plan on going next year in Cleveland?
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty close. We got lucky that it was in Chicago last year, so that's not too far of a drive from us in Michigan. And then Cleveland, it'll be the same, about three,
That's
4 hours
awesome.
away.
So, what should people know about Slab Shipper? Tell me the one thing people should know when they think about Slab Shipper.
Getting rid of cardboard and bubble wrap, definitely an advantage. I usually sell on eBay, and then my shipping. I just add the cost of the shipping case in my eBay, which is $2-3 or so. And I haven't had a complaint about shipping costs. People are actually pretty happy when they receive it. So people are willing to spend a little $2-3 extra to be sure they're getting something delivered safely. And not to mention, you can just keep it in there after you're done. It protects it. I've cracked a few slabs just by pulling them out, dropping them on the floor,
Oh, sure.
that kind of thing.
Well, I bought a card, and I don't want to say what it is, but it was expensive enough, and it came packaged, and I swear, in newspaper and Scotch tape.
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, this seller has good ratings, good reviews, but the gamble they just took on my card was not worth it. What did they save themselves? $1 on packaging material, to protect the card. So to me, especially for a card that needs that extra love, the cost of the slab shipper is nothing.
Right. Yeah. It's inexpensive to guarantee it's going to get there. If you look at some of the videos on our Instagram, I ran one over with my favorite graded card I got back from PSA was a Kyle Kuzma, and it got a 1. And I was kind of shocked. I was looking at it like this would have to be folded in half to get graded this bad. But I was happy that that gets to be my little example slab when I'm taking them to a show and I can have people testing out the durability. Then I got a nice Kuzma inside of there.
Well, as a Wizards fan, I can understand that his playing some days it gets a 1 also. So let me just show a graphic here, and it might block you and me on the screen real quick. But I do want to show just really the process, and this is what I was trying to demonstrate before. The card just goes in, and it's slab, snap, ship, and I really it's that easy. You can buy them in what size? What size packages?
You can get them from 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, or even more than that. If you're going above 100, then yeah, they could work something out. Uh, Probably the best contact would be going through the actual website of slabshippers.com if there's anything over 100. But
And
yeah, one thing.
where can people find you on social and YouTube? You mentioned or Instagram videos.
Yep, yeah, we're Slab Shipper on Instagram, eBay, Slab Shippers with an S on the website, and Amazon, eBay. We're trying to just get as listed as many places as possible and get exposure. Yeah, one thing I wanted to show you on
Please.
putting the case on the card inside of this. So it's made to fit PSA, SGC, CSG, BGS, and then a couple of the let's just say the newer graders. They seem to have a pretty standard case. So most things fit in here. And the important part when using it is if you put it in there, since it does have enough room to fit everything, you will have it moving around quite a bit. But if you use, I found these work the best, the Beckett brand sleeves, since most people should be shipping with a sleeve, but not everyone does. But if you put a nice little oversized sleeve in there, especially for a PSA card, it definitely helps out, kind of reduce the motion inside. Now you got it almost cushioned by that sleeve, and then you got it well protected inside of the case. So make sure, yeah, we always use a sleeve inside of these things.
And like you said, the case itself has been run over. You said.
Yep, I ran it over with my card just to see what would happen with cardboard and bubble wrap slab compared to this one. So that's
That's
the
crazy.
main thing
Cool.
trying to avoid there is I've gotten a few of them that were cracked even with protection. I've had things shipped in Ziploc bags and all sorts of weird stuff, but
Oh yeah.
some of
I
them
love
make it here.
I love when the post office sends something in a Ziploc bag torn apart with the apology note.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or tracks from a forklift on it. I got that
Right,
before.
right. Sorry, it's 6 months late and destroyed, but here's the remnants.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, this certainly solves that. Now you sell on eBay as well.
yep, yeah. I started selling most of my collection just to fund dealing with this. Hopefully, I can buy it back. But yeah, I got a good amount of '90s inserts. That's what I like the best is the old foil, and can get my hands on any refractors for a good price. But mostly, I
Well,
like to deal in '90s cards because I know how to look at them, grade them, that kind of thing.
there are a lot of 90s insert fans that we have as writers and viewers. So I think you're hitting the sweet spot of, and hopefully we'll build up some traction for you in both places. Um,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. Who do you root for from a sports perspective? Who are your teams?
Ooh, I try to root for Detroit whenever it's possible. They
Okay.
haven't made it, have not made it easy, that's for sure. But
No Shaq loyalty to Orlando or LA or
no, not really. Yeah, when he was on Orlando, yeah, he was my main guy. And then he got traded, and I was upset about that. I had Orlando everything in my room growing up, and I even had like his jersey on like a comforter or something
oh
with the
yeah.
Orlando like 32, and I was like, no. And I remember taking that off my bed at like 6.
I thought Penny Hardaway and Shaq were going to be title winners for years.
Yeah, yeah. When they went to the finals back in was it '94?
Yeah, it's been
Yeah, that sweep was rough.
yeah, no, it definitely. There's a great documentary on that actually. All right, Aaron. Thank you for coming on. I am a big fan of this. I will be using it now when I ship out my cards. I need to learn from you how to sell as many as you do. I don't seem to have as much success selling, so maybe I need to work on that. But they will all go out in Slab Shipper from now on because I did send one out to somebody and it got there. And actually, I followed up with them, and they said they've never seen it before but do they mind if they use it for their own stuff? And I said only if you go make a purchase. So if you see if you see a purchase coming from Texas, I'll take full credit for that.
All right, that sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me. Anything else that you want to touch on before we go?
Not that I can think of. Apart from just keep an eye on our Instagrams. Once in a while, we will do coupon codes and discounts.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm going to tell you happy holidays, happy New Year, and when you watch this, please check out the website and definitely check out the social media and everything else. I'll see you in the green room. To everybody else, thank you.
All right, thanks for your time.